Any doubts? You have any doubts? 10 lakh, नहीं 10 lakh crores. Okay. No, no, no. Not at all. No, not at all. Any other question? Any other question? No. Which means we have to start a new topic today, isn't it? Foreign investment. I have a small question to ask you. Foreign investment is of how many types? उनको बोलो. Tell them to set this. Foreign investment is of how many types? Two types. Which are those? Portfolio investment and? Okay. What is the difference between the two? Margin. Sorry? So that's the only difference. Sorry? Which are the others? Sorry? FDI? Okay. I told you in my last class that what you will learn about foreign investment in the class, most of it, I mean some of the very important aspects of that you do not get in any book. Do you understand what I have said? You do get in books, but what you learn in class about foreign investment, that is both FDI and FPI. Some very important aspects of both of these are not given in any book because it is assumed that this is a part of the understanding. Have I made myself clear? So please listen to me carefully. This is a topic in which most of our time would be spent on foreign direct investment. FPI will not take us more than half an hour or 45 minutes. Because foreign direct investment that we do, this shall be done under several subheads. You understand? Once all those subheads are over, you would have a very, very comprehensive understanding of FDI. So comprehensive that, I mean, you will really thoroughly understand that this is foreign direct investment. This I am saying very modestly, without any ego. I am very saying this very humbly, because quite a few of the very important things about FDI are not given in books. I said not that they are deliberately omitting it, they assume that should be a part of the understanding. So I repeat, in our total topic on foreign investment, predominantly we'll be doing FDI in under various subheads. Each subhead is very, very important. So once those subheads are over, then we take up FPI, which shall not take us more than half an hour, 45 minutes. Okay? So first thing first, we will distinguish between what is foreign direct investment and foreign portfolio. This distinction will come by way of a very elaborate definition, right? That this is foreign direct investment. Once that is over, this is a foreign portfolio investment. Once this distinction is over, then I'll give you subheads of foreign direct investment. As one subhead is over, you tick that this is over. Have I made myself clear? Right? So first thing first, since most of you know that foreign investment is of two types, still, when we start this topic, you give heading foreign investment and please write what I'm going to dictate. Foreign investment is of two types. As follows. Foreign direct investment and foreign portfolio investment. Okay? These are defined as follows. These are defined as follows. So first we'll define foreign direct investment. FDI means that a foreign investor generally a multinational company may invest in a country say India with the object of staying in the country for a long period and engaging itself in any of the activities like manufacturing some product, start a bracket, consumer goods, automobiles, machinery, and a host of different kinds of products. Close the bracket, comma, providing some service, start a bracket, insurance, banking, aviation, telecom, courier, and a host of services, close the bracket, or engaging itself in the construction of infrastructure. Construction of infrastructure, start a bracket, roads, bridges, ports, highways, smart cities, etc. Full stop. Thus, foreign direct investment adds to the productive capacity of a nation. Thus, foreign direct investment adds to the productive capacity of a nation by manufacturing various kinds of products, and also expands service network of a country. Service network of a country by providing various types of services and also helps in strengthening and modernizing infrastructural development of a country. Infrastructural development of a country. Full stop. Thus, I'll give you examples, don't worry. Thus, FDI is the best form of foreign capital. Because of its overall contribution, to the entire economy. Full stop. It is also considered the best as it does not involve anything in return from the recipient nation. Okay? Read. Then I am going to give you examples and examples. Can you ask this man to just close this? Sorry? Manufacturing unit? When I give you example, you will regret why you asked this question. What a childish question. I am going to give you examples and examples and examples. Okay. Now listen to me. Much before you were born, your parents have been using products of foreign direct investment. Have you heard of Unilever? It has been there in India for a very long time. A large number of products, consumer goods that you are using are by Hindustan Lever. Say yes or no. Yes. Have you heard of Hero Honda? Yes. Have you heard of Maruti Suzuki? Yes. Have you heard of Tata Singapore Airlines? My dear, have you heard of Colgate? Yes. Procter Gamble? Procter and Gamble, there are quite a few, many products are. My dear, right since 1951. Have you heard of Surf and Lux? Yes. These are detergents. Have you heard of Pounds? Colgate Palmolive? My dear, hundreds and hundreds of products are being manufactured by foreign direct investment by way of joint ventures. Much before you were born, your parents have been using products only of joint. Patanjali has come now. What is Patanjali? Useless. You understand what I am saying? A large number of products, right from automobiles to machinery to consumer goods, that you are using are the result of foreign direct investment. This is products, services. Have you heard of ICICI Prudential? Most of you would have thought that ICICI is very prudential. Whereas Prudential is a foreign insurance company, 200-year-old insurance company. Have you heard of Tata AIG, Bajaj Allianz, IFCO Tokyo? These are all joint venture insurance companies. What are you saying? HDFC Bank. Do you know what is foreign direct investment in HDFC Bank? 70% of total foreign is foreign direct investment. All private banks practically have a huge chunk of foreign direct investment. There is no sector in India, my dear, except atomic energy, manufacture of what is called the lottery business, what is called, what we are using in non-Diwali, crackers, etc. There are certain sectors for which you have banned FDI. Otherwise, there is no sector in India where you do not have a huge presence of foreign companies, either as independent companies or as joint ventures, mostly joint ventures. Your question was whether they have a unit in India, or this was your question. Does Hindustan Lever have a unit in India? Does Hero Honda have a unit in India? Does Maruti Suzuki have a unit in India? So that's why I said your question was English. How can they, if they don't have a unit in India, that means they are importing. Then that is not for FDI. What are you saying? Is it clear? No, no, no. I am sorry. Not that you are, I am not criticizing you. Try and understand that I have given, without having a unit, how can a multinational company be coming into India and having a joint venture? Do you go to Starbucks? You go. Have you seen Tata Starbucks? Then Starbucks started in Seattle in 1971. Seattle, America. I am not boasting, I have traveled extensively. You have the Tim Horton, which has come to India now, Tim Horton. It's a Canadian chain. In Canada, Starbucks is mainly it is Tim Horton. Of course, in Dubai also, quite a few other countries. Try and understand, there is no sector in which you do not have presence of foreign companies, be it in the manufacturing, be it in the services sector, be it in infrastructure development. Your port at Noida, Greater Noida, Jewar Airport, is being built entirely by Swiss Airports Authority. Many of the ports have a joint venture with India. My dear, don't forget, they have the best technology. What they bring to you, I'll give you merits. But I said first we'll distinguish between what is direct investment, what is. You cannot live without foreign direct investment. No country, if somebody asks you which country attracts the highest FDI, you'll be shocked, America. You may wonder, sir, America? Why does it need foreign direct investment? America is concentrating on machinery and capital goods. Consumer goods, lot of Chinese companies. There isn't a better form of foreign capital than foreign direct investment, because you have written that it expands your manufacturing sector, your services sector, brings about modernization and strengthening of your infrastructure. Then the last sentence they have written that this is best also because it does not involve anything in return from the recipient country. I ask you a question. A multinational company comes to India to manufacture or to provide service or to construct infrastructure. What is India giving that company? No. What India is giving is 3 or 4 things. A, political stability. How many companies will go to Pakistan? Any country which doesn't have political stability, they will not go. An investor-friendly tax regime. Investor-friendly environment. Have you heard of ease of doing business? What is that? Stable tax regime. Flexible labor laws. These are very important attractions for a multinational company to come and set up its units in India. Have I made myself clear? I said, you are not giving anything in return to that company, except a investor-friendly environment, stable tax regime, stable political regime, flexible labor laws, so that there is certainty. You remember when we were doing taxation, I said one very important thing about a sound system of taxation is that tax structure should be stable. If your tax structure is not stable, foreign companies will think that what kind of tax we are paying? So try and understand, there isn't a better form of foreign capital for any country in the world. In fact, it won't be wrong to say that a large number of countries which are today called advanced countries have been depending upon FDI to a large extent in the initial years of their development. So foreign direct investment is tangible. It is adding to your manufacturing. There is hardly any product in India. My dear, your technology is very poor. Some of the very basic things you can't manufacture, even today. So try and understand that foreign direct investment, every country depends upon foreign direct investment. For every sector practically in the economy. Is it clear? I ask you a question. Till mid-70s, till late 70s, popular household detergents in India were Lux and Surf. Till washing powder Nirma started making inroads. Do you understand? So you have examples and examples. To quote, there was Hero Honda. Honda withdrew, now Hero is alone. You have Maruti Suzuki. What I am saying is, this is a joint venture. So try and understand that foreign direct investment is the best form of foreign capital that any country can wish for. I ask you a simple question. Why is it that every state is now organizing conclaves to attract foreign direct investment? Say yes or no. UP has done it, Madhya Pradesh has done it, southern states have done it. Why? And this is being projected in a big way. Yogi says we have been able to have proposals worth so many lakh crores. Only proposals. How they materialize is different thing. You understand? To be having proposals is one thing, to have them materialize is different. I hope I have made things very clear to you that this is foreign direct investment. Now let's take a look how there is a fundamental difference between FDI and FPI, which you will know as we dictate to you. Now we are taking up definition of foreign portfolio investment. हाँ? ये examples ही तो ये मैंने एग्जाम्पल्स नहीं दिए तो क्या किए हैं? एंजॉय करो, लिखो मत. ये मैंने अभी दिया क्या आपको? अच्छा, ये भी आपको लिखवाना पड़ेगा कि हीरो होंडा फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट है, मारुति सुजुकी फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट है, हिंदुस्तान यूनिलीवर फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट है, आईसीआईसीआई प्रूडेंशियल फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट है इन द इंश्योरेंस सेक्टर, टाटा सिंगापुर एयरलाइंस फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट इन द एविएशन सेक्टर. लिख लो भैया. All of you would like to write? Sure? Unanimous? Okay. Right. G. Question bank. He is question bank. अरे भाई, have we done merits and demerits? तो एंजॉय करो, वेट करो. मैंने what did I tell you? That we will first distinguish, then I'll give you subheads. A large number of subheads which will, I'm sure, which will ensure that you have comprehensively understood every aspect of foreign direct investment. I can assure you. All right? Okay. So let's now take a look at what is foreign portfolio investment. Please write. Foreign portfolio investment means that a foreign investor generally, who can fill in the blanks? Anybody who fill in the blanks will be rewarded? Yes. No, you will not know. Please write. Please write. Foreign portfolio investment means that a foreign investor, generally foreign institutional investors, foreign institutional investors don't worry, I will define who are these institutional investors. Is it clear? Yes. I repeat the sentence. Foreign portfolio investment means that a foreign investor, generally, what kind of investor? Foreign institutional investors, invest in a country's stock market. They invest in a country's stock market by investing in shares, bonds, mutual funds, etc., of different companies in the country, in a country, full stop. Principal objective of such investment is to earn capital gains in the stock market. Full stop. If they find stock market of a country less attractive they have a tendency to fly to other countries' stock markets, for quick capital gains. Full stop. It is for this reason that foreign portfolio investment is popularly called foreign portfolio investment is popularly called, start an inverted comma, hot money, garam paisa, close the inverted comma, or start inverted comma, fly by night money, raaton raat ud gaye, fly by night money. Full stop. Thus, unlike FDI, which is long term in nature, comma, FPI is essentially short term in nature. Full stop. Foreign institutional investors. Now you are defining who are these. Foreign institutional investors comprise a hybrid mix of foreign institutions like foreign mutual funds, comma, pension funds, comma, hedge funds, hedge, H-E-D-G-E, hedge funds, comma, insurance companies, comma, charitable organizations, comma, sovereign wealth funds, comma, investment bankers, comma, wealth management companies, and such other foreign institutional investors who have first to get themselves registered with the SEBI in India, registered with the SEBI in India before they are allowed to invest in the Indian stock market. Full stop. Foreign portfolio investment was first permitted in India from the year 1993. Read now. You will easily know what a fundamental difference is between FDI and FPI. Once you have read, I am going to ask you questions. Question number 1. Let them read. They may have some other question to ask you. Question, what is your question? FPI? Have I dictated? Have I dictated the help recipient nation? Then why are you asking? Enjoy. I will answer, but that is not the question. The question is wrong. Have you read or still reading? I don't mind if you take 1-2 minutes more, but read. Because after you have read, I am going to ask you questions. So unless you have read, I am not going to ask you questions. Question number 1. Which kind of investors are permitted to invest in India? Sorry? Those who are registered with the SEBI. What kind of investors have to register themselves with SEBI? Foreign institutional investors, not foreign individuals. So your question should have been, sir, can a foreign individual also invest in India stock market? My answer would be that 2014, Raghuram Rajan, RBI governor then, who didn't go well with Modi, and a genius, his book, I Do What I Do, excellent, he's a genius, right? He was the man who predicted 2008 global financial crisis. For the first time, foreign individual investors are also permitted to invest in the Indian stock market, subject to their satisfying KYC norms of both the SEBI and the RBI. But how many individual investors? Predominantly it is foreign institutional investors. And how clear this distinction is? You have written that if they find India stock market less lucrative, they have a tendency to go to Hong Kong, Singapore, Korea, any other country where they can make a quick buck. For this reason, they are clubbed as hot money. Correct? And there is a large chunk of, you have heard of Bill Gates charitable Yes, even that may be investing in India. Mutual funds may be investing. Foreign pension funds may be investing. Hedge funds, the word hedge, listen to me carefully. What is the dictionary meaning of the word hedge? To protect. Yes or no? So there are funds, generally such funds, don't write anything, it's so simple. You don't even have to write. If it was to be written, I would have dictated. Generally, there are what are called very wealthy individuals. I will not hesitate to say their wealth stinks. They are looking to invest in different parts of the world. So they can't invest as individuals. They have set up hedge funds in certain names. Tudor hedge fund, Capital hedge fund, Platinum. So hedge fund means they don't want to put all their eggs in one basket. They are investing in different parts of the world because they have so much of money. So they have set up some hedge funds through which they are investing in different parts of the world, in India, Korea, China, so on. These are called hedge funds. The word hedge means they are trying to hedge their risks by spreading their eggs in different baskets. Simple as that. So FDI is creating assets. FPI is not creating assets. You may say, sir, it is creating assets because it is investing in shares of Indian companies. Yes, because Indian stock market, the sentiments of Indian stock markets are by and large determined by FPIs. If they start pulling out of India's stock market starts plunging. They are predominant players in the Indian stock market. So to the extent that they are investing in shares of Indian companies have capital. That capital they are using for their activities. But directly they are not creating assets in the like you have FDI, creating assets. And of course, when I entered the class and I asked, tell me the distinction, one student says 10% or more. International definition is, which we adopted 8 years back, that if FPI in a country is 10% or more, it will be called FDI. You understand? Simple as that. So we have distinguished between FDI and FPI, giving you specific examples. Now, as I said, we have to take up straight away FDI in all its manifestations. And I am going to give you subheads under which you will comprehensively understand India's FDI policy. Is that clear? And from time to time, I am going to give you specific instances, not examples, which actually happened in India. All right? So, now give the heading subheads for comprehensive understanding of FDI. Give the heading subheads for comprehensive understanding of foreign direct investment policy of India. Subheads for comprehensively understanding India's FDI policy. Simple as that. India's FDI policy. Clear? Shall I repeat? Okay. Subheads for comprehensively understanding India's FDI policy. Number 1, first subhead. Routes to attract FDI. Routes to attract FDI. Before I give second subhead, I want to ask you, how have you spelled roots? ROUTES. Question bank is wrong. ROUTES. Routes to attract foreign direct investment. Second subhead. CAPS. CAPS. TOPI. CAPS in India's FDI policy. Very, very, very important. My goodness. This is the most important thing. In fact, student who understand 1 and 2, subhead first and second, has understood half of India's FDI policy. Sorry? CAPS, India's FDI policy, CAPS. So I repeat, a student who understands subhead number 1 and subhead number 2, he has literally understood more than half of India's FDI policy. These two are not given in books. This is what I said. Any book where it's given? No. 3, subhead, subhead number 3, merits of FDI. Don't write married. Merits of FDI, merits. My goodness. 4, demerits of FDI. If there are merits, there must be demerits also. Starts looking at me. What is demerits? Okay. Sorry? Sorry? Demerit? Loss of FDI? What? Flaws. Flaw is a very cheap word. 5. FDI policy. FDI policy towards India's FDI policy towards foreign e-commerce companies. My dear, 2 questions year before last in Prelims. India's FDI policy towards foreign e-commerce companies. 6. India's FDI policy towards China. Show me any of these heads given in any book. They are not given. India's FDI policy towards China. 7. FDI in multi-brand retail. Means India's FDI policy in multi-brand retail. Multi-brand retail. 8. Double taxation avoidance agreements. Double taxation avoidance agreements and the role of tax havens. Double taxation avoidance agreements and the role of tax havens. And last, measures adopted since 91. Measures adopted since 1991 to promote foreign direct investment. To promote, imagine we have to finish these 9 subheads. Once we have finished this, we have comprehensively understood India's FDI policy. Shall we start? Are you ready? FDI, that depends. That question again, that would depend. China attracts a lot of FPI. Lot. Korea attracts a lot of FPI. Singapore attracts a lot of FPI. Hong Kong attracts a lot of FPI. Shall we start? First subhead. Yes. I repeat, first 2 subheads are most important. Shall we start? So what you are writing is routes to attract foreign direct investment in India. Please write. There are 3 routes to attract FDI in India as follows. What? There are 3 routes. Don't write Bangladesh, China and Bangladesh. There are 3 routes to attract foreign direct investment in India as follows. Correct? 1. Automatic route. Automatic route. My dear, full 150-word question came 4 years back in civil services main paper. What do you understand by automatic route of FDI? Because that's the only route student examiner would have asked, as you would see. My dear friends, I repeat, first and second subheads are the most important. So first is automatic route. Second route, government approval route. Government approval route. And third route, from NRIs, to attract foreign direct investment from non-reliable Indians. Don't write reliable. I call them non-reliable. Non-resident Indians. Clear? Shall we start? Please write what is automatic route. This route implies that a foreign company wishing to invest in India does not require to obtain prior approval of any agency in India before investing in India. Full stop. It can straight away bring its initial capital that it wants to invest in India. It can straight away bring its initial capital that it wants to invest in India, and it has only to inform the RBI within 15 days. Within 15 days of bringing its capital. Full stop. The government of India notifies from time to time all those sectors in which a foreign company can invest under the automatic route. Full stop. This information can be accessed by a foreign company to decide in which sector it wants to invest in India under the automatic route. Full stop. In the last few years, more and more sectors have been brought under the automatic route, keeping in view ease of doing business. Full stop. At present, more than 90%, 90, of total FDI in India comes through the automatic route. Would you like to read? Please read. So what is the automatic route? Explain. Without? Correct. What is required? Only inform the why RBI? Because it will bring foreign exchange. You have written capital. That capital has to be foreign exchange. It could be dollar, pound, euro, whatever. Correct? Who is regulating foreign exchange? RBI. Correct? Then you have written that how does a foreign company know that such and such sectors, insurance, telecommunication, ports, defense, how does a foreign company know that these are sectors under the automatic route? You have written Government of India notifies. Correct? So, 7 years back, 51% of total FDI was coming through automatic route. Today it is more than, I will not be wrong to say that about close to 95% of total FDI, which means a large number of sectors have been brought. If you have next IES book, open the chapter on foreign investment. 3 pages, tables are given. Automatic, automatic. Most of them you will see this sector automatic, this sector automatic. You won't even, otherwise I ask you a question. How does a student know what is automatic route? Most of the sectors today are under automatic route. Is it clear? Shall we start the second one? Please write. Which is the second one? Yes. This route implies government approval route. Sorry? Any questions? Now we are doing government approval route. This route implies that a foreign company wishing to invest in India has to seek prior approval before it can invest in India. Full stop. This approval was granted by an apex board, set up in 1992 called Foreign Investment Promotion Board. Foreign Investment, hats off to Manmohan Singh. Look, he opened the economy. Foreign Investment Promotion Board. Full stop. This board was abolished. This board was abolished in 2017. 2017 as more and more sectors were brought under, very good, were brought under the automatic route. full stop. As such, approval is now granted. Approval is now to be granted. Approval is now to be granted by the concerned ministry or department. What have you understood? Supposing it's a telecom proposal, it will go to telecom ministry. Defense proposal, right. Now there is no such board. Clear? In fact, if you ask me, financial sector proposals, banking, insurance, they have to take government approval, right? So, but I said most of the sectors are now under automatic route. Now the third route, which is the third route? NRIs. Government of India provides various incentives including tax benefits to NRIs from time to time to attract investments. Full stop. Government also organizes Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. Yes or no? Yes. Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. Now it is once in 2 years, no? Earlier it was every year. Pravasi Bharatiya Divas to showcase India's progress and attract NRI investments. Is that clear? Now, I will convince you why I said it is better to call them non-reliable. I interact with quite a few of them from time to time. They do not have good impression about India. They feel India is a corrupt country. They feel India has red tapeism. They feel India has poor infrastructure. They feel that India is a country where the slogan is "Chalta hai." Do you know "Chalta hai"? Things are taken very lightly. If you give time to somebody, it doesn't matter. उसके दिमाग में नहीं है time है. Abroad, if you give time to somebody 10 o'clock, the guy will be there at 10 o'clock. You call for a cab at a certain. I was in Stockholm. I'm telling you a fact. I was staying in a hotel in Stockholm, Sweden, and I told this hotel people, please call for a cab for me. They said, what time? I said 11:30. Right? The briefcase that I was to carry, my wife was with me, it carry. It took me about 4 minutes more. I entered the cab. The place where I dropped, the guy asked me kroners, the Swiss currency, 50 kroners more than what hotel authorities had told me. I said, but this is what hotel. Sir, you were 4 minutes late. Actually, it has happened with me. You can't argue. In India, you start. मैं फोन करता हूं, तू कैसे चार्ज कर रहा है? Yes or no? चार्ज करके दिखा. You understand? My dear, you are living in a very wonderful country. सड़क पे कुछ भी कर दो, कुछ you understand ना? Like animals do, humans do. Say yes or no. Very bad. That's happened with me. Singapore, wonderful country. They call it police state. Americans call it police state. Thailand useless. One of the most poor countries you could ever think of. Right? You are in a cab, and it happened with us. As I said, I have traveled extensively. So we forgot our camera and a few other belongings in the cab. So as we reached the hotel, oh, this is missing. So we told the hotel authority. They said, from where did you get the cab? Sir, in 45 minutes the guy will be here. They have this whole system, beautiful system, my goodness. And if you are traveling, you're sitting and while you went to a place, the fare was X amount. When you are coming back, fare is a little more than X amount. You are discussing with the people sitting with you, maybe your wife or somebody. The guy is listening. The guy is, sir, when you were going, there was no U-turn. When you are coming back, there is a U-turn. Fare has to be a little more. Sir, then he also has the discipline to tell me, sir, you pay whatever you gave while going. In India, will they do it? They are chores. I'm sorry. Right. Anyway, we have wonderful experiences and bad experiences also. So, what were we discussing? NRIs. Non-reliable Indians. Okay. So, these are the routes through which we attract foreign direct investment. Now, caps. Very, very, very important. Caps in India's FDI policy. Caps in India's FDI policy. So, first you are defining what caps mean. Please write. Every country has caps in its FDI policy. Full stop. Now you are defining what are caps. Caps imply percentage share of a foreign company in the total capital of a joint venture enterprise in a country. Full stop. For example, examples will give everything clear. For example, in India, FDI cap is restricted up to 74% in the insurance sector, which means that in a joint venture insurance company, like ICICI Prudential, comma, the percentage share capital of Prudential can be up to, of Prudential is a Prudential, can be up to 74%. Full stop. FDI caps in India, FDI caps in India range from 10%, comma 20%, comma 24%, 26%, 40%, 49%, 51%, 74%, and 100%. Full stop. A 100% FDI cap means a 100% FDI cap means that the entire capital in a company can belong to a foreign company. Full stop. Generally, 100% FDI cap in India is permitted in sectors in which there may be scarcity of resources like the entire infrastructural sector. Full stop. FDI cap may be restricted up to 49% in sectors which are sensitive from the point of view of a country's defense and security, from the point of view of India's defense and security, because we are talking of India here, from the point of view of India's defense and security, as well as for protecting social interests. As well as protecting social interests. Full stop. FDI caps are not static. And can be raised or lowered. Can be raised or lowered depending upon prevailing economic conditions in the country. Full stop. It is also important to understand that FDI caps in a certain sector may be restricted up to say 49% under the automatic route. But it can be raised even up to 100%. Full stop. However, the remaining 51% shall come through the government approval route. My humble request to you is thoroughly read this. I am giving you not less than 7 minutes. I said this is the most important segment. And I am going to tell you quite a few interesting things about this. Your time starts now. I am counting time. No questions will be answered before 7 minutes. 3 minutes are over. Casualty number 1. You are giving me an impression that you have read, all of you, that you are so sharp you have read. You have read? Yes. Most of you? Very intelligent. Any questions? First, the question bank. Yes. What if a company is not joint venture? Then entire capital belongs to it. Enjoy. Yes. That's not a joint venture then. Yes. Yes. I'll answer that question. Yes. Any other question? I'll answer every question. I ask you a question now. Do you know that 1994 Government of India set up a committee? It was called Malhotra Committee on Insurance Sector Reforms. Listen to it very carefully. I'm answering your question. Because till 1994 in India there were only two insurance companies, LIC and GIC. You are lucky, my dear, you have so many insurance companies to choose from. LIC was for life, GIC was for car, house, etc. Government of India set up, because he was ex-RBI governor, Malhotra, R.N. Malhotra. The committee was set up to recommend insurance sector reforms in India. The committee recommended that insurance sector in India is very, very narrow. Penetration is very, very poor. You need to open up the insurance sector to domestic players, private players, and foreign players. Foreign insurance companies and domestic insurance. But the committee cautioned the Government of India that when you open the insurance sector to foreign companies, restrict their shareholding up to 26%. Why? Because track record of insurance companies in some foreign countries is not good. There was a joke about Japan. Every 6 months an insurance company would collapse. And you all know very well, insurance is a way of life abroad. Hollywood actresses insure their body. Will any insurance company do it in India? No. It's a way of life. So, there is every chance of an insurance company collapsing abroad, and if you are having high stake, high capital, it would have a huge, impact in terms of tremendous loss to those who would have insured through that company. Why go far? 2008 global financial meltdown began in America. 2009, there is a company called Tata AIG. AIG collapsed in 2009. It made headlines in newspapers. And look at the benevolence of Tata. Tata is Tata. Ambani is his bacha. It's a fact. Tata has announced in newspapers that even if AIG quits, those who have insured through AIG need not panic, I will take over the entire company. So, I'm talking of, this is social interest. Insurance is a social this thing, correct? You restricted its cap to 26%, raised it to 49% after a few years. 2 years back you raised it to 74%. The reason is penetration of insurance sector in India is still very poor. Insurance premium accounts for 3.4% of India's GDP. In most of the Southeast Asian countries, Thailand, Singapore, etc., it accounts for 5.4%. So, that's what you have written. Caps are not static. Then I'll give you another example of social sector. For a long time, we restricted FDI cap in the small scale sector up to 24%. I am sure you should know the fundamental difference between 24% and 26%. If a company has a stake of 26%, legally it has a right for day-to-day say in the functioning of the company, right? Up to 24% it has no legal right. So for a long time India restricted FDI cap in the small scale sector to 24%, but it was not helping technology upgradation in the small scale sector. Government raised it to 26%. All right, Professor Vibhash, when he takes up disinvestment with you, he'll tell you what is the fundamental difference between disinvestment. As I told you, I have been through all these topics, I mean, so rigorously that they are right here every time. All right. So that is social interest. Social interest can be, take for example LIC. LIC opened its IPO, you know, I think last year. You know, FDI cap is restricted up to 10%. Only 10%. And then you have written that generally you may permit 100% FDI in sectors where you have, open your next IS book, open those 3 pages. Most of the infrastructure sector is 100% under the automatic route. Correct? So, you are living in a global world, and you also have to keep in mind the sensitivity of the sector in terms of availability of funds, right? And also the fact that you need technology from foreign companies. The last sentence that you wrote was that supposing in a sector we permit FDI under automatic route up to 49% or up to 51% or up to 74%, whatever. It can be raised up to 100%. If it is 49%, it can be raised up to 74% or 100%. Up to 49% was automatic, right? I'll give you an example. Let's say there is an arms manufacturing company, foreign arms manufacturing company, which offers to the Government of India, Ministry of Defence, that we can manufacture latest state-of-the-art armory for you. Correct? This proposal is thoroughly scrutinized by the Ministry of Defence and experts, and it is decided that, oh, it's worth having that foreign arms manufacturing company manufacture arms for us. So, in India's FDI policy, if you have kept FDI limit in defense manufacturing up to 51%, now it is up to 74%, right? That 51% under the automatic route. You can raise it to 100%, but the remaining 49% shall come through government, which means government approval route can follow the automatic route, but not vice versa. You understand? Automatic route cannot follow the government because government approval is restricted. That is what you have written. I'll tell you something very interesting. 1978, for the first time, Congress was ousted at the center because of Indira Gandhi's emergency and all, right? So, Janta government took over, headed by Morarji Desai. Under Janta government, the industry minister who was appointed was George Fernandez. He died 4 years back. George Fernandez. A trade union leader about whom it was said, and correctly, that his clout over labor unions in Maharashtra, in Bombay particularly, was so massive that he could bring the entire Bombay city to a halt by organizing labor strikes. So by definition and by shall I say character, you could call him leftist, right? Very strong, firebrand trade union leader as George Fernandez. He was appointed as industry minister. One of his first diktats after taking over as industry minister was, I'm talking of 1978. He said all foreign companies operating in India must Indianize. What was he saying? All foreign companies operating in India must bring down their foreign shareholdings to 40%. 60% shareholding must belong to Indian companies. That was a diktat given by him. Of course, some time period was given to foreign companies to dilute their shareholding. You can't do it overnight. Most foreign companies agreed to comply. But two top multinationals said, sorry George, we will not comply. George said, pack off, go back to your country. They said, fine. Do you know which were those companies? Coca-Cola and IBM, International Business Machines. They went back and came back with a vengeance once Indira Gandhi again took over in 1980. Because 2 years of Janta rule then, people got fed up. There were internal bickerings. It's like saying you have got power for the first time, you are not able to manage that power. Unlike Modi, who is managing it. All right? I don't know managing it or mismanaging it, but managing it. All right. Anyway, I'm not his critic, but it's very difficult to manage a country like India. Let me tell you, very difficult. To be handling this country is a huge task. And somebody who does it has to be appreciated. You have problems, like your 2000 rupee note. Government brought out this note in 17, now it's being withdrawn. The ground is soiled notes. No, notes are not soiled. Elections are coming. And if you hoard money only in 2000 rupee notes, right? And you know money power plays a huge role in elections. If you talk of soiled notes, I have got a 100 rupee note. So soiled that it's soiled. It's been there for 27 years. It should be withdrawn. Yes or no? So that's not the argument. But of course they are coming out with 1000 rupee note now. Okay? So try and understand that you'll be shocked to know that government's FDI policy, caps, etc., it was very ad hoc. Till 1997. No book gives it. 1997, for the first time, we laid down transparent FDI guidelines. These caps were actually, they would depend upon the whim of the minister in charge, rather than laid down as such. You are a foreign company operating in India, right? You are bringing technology, because technology is the biggest merit for FDI. You are bringing technology. What is the technical fees that you have to be given? Right? What is the royalty that you have to be given? Right? What percentage of the profit can be given as dividend to shareholders abroad? Nothing was laid down. First ever transparent guidelines we laid down in 1997. And it had to be done. because WTO came in 1995. And one of the very important agreements in the WTO is TRIMS, Trade-Related Investment Measures. I think Professor Reddy is doing, I don't know. I did a lot of work on WTO, right? So if you have an agreement called TRIMS, which means that every member country of the WTO has to open its economy to foreign investors and treat a foreign investor at par with domestic investors. So if you have that, you have to lay down transparent guidelines. All right. So all these were laid down in 1997, right? So India's FDI policy needs to be understood, particularly in the context of A, what are the routes? Because as I said, if you see those 3 pages in the next IS, most of the sectors are now under automatic route. And 2, you should thoroughly understand. Tomorrow if you read the book, you should know that if in that table is given 100%, 75%, 71%, you will be easily now able to correlate that these are the caps laid down for different sectors, and at any point of time they can be raised or lowered. Any doubt? If you have, please ask me before I proceed to the next subhead. Shall we start? What's the next subhead? Yeah. I'm going to give you a paragraph on merits, not 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraph. So you're gone putting commas. So please write. Foreign direct investment. Foreign direct investment brings a large number of benefits to the recipient country, as follows. So start from a fresh para, go on putting commas. It brings latest and state-of-the-art technology, comma, latest and state-of-the-art technology, comma, precious foreign exchange, precious foreign exchange, comma, business expertise, comma, expands productive capacity of a nation, comma, generates backward and forward linkage effects, comma, generates large scale employment opportunities, comma, strengthens infrastructural development, comma, helps export promotion as MNCs have a global brand name comma, integrates an economy with the rest of the world, comma, brings about merits of hygiene and quality as intrinsic part of overall production, and above all infuses a spirit of competition among the domestic industry to become cost conscious and quality conscious. Okay, read what you have written. Read whatever problem you have, please ask me. Can you deny they bring the best of technology? Can you deny they bring precious foreign exchange? They expand your productive capacity. They help export promotion. They have a global brand name. Undoubtedly, they generate large-scale employment opportunities.
So today we can say any country survives without FDI or it drops FDI?
Shall I tell you, don't say factory, every sector would require foreign direct investment, less or gone. Quite a few examples as we now backward and forward linkage effects. What are these? I ask you a question. I give you a very simple example. Food processing industry, 5th largest industry in India now. You are lucky. Walking into the market, if you are hungry, pick up hundreds of ready-to-eat items. Yes or no? Was it there 10 years back? No. Umpteen number of ready-to-eat items. This is food processing. Now, food processing industry has a huge backward and forward linkage effect. Most of it comes from agriculture. Agricultural waste, correct? Or byproducts. agriculture is gaining because its byproducts are being, industry is gaining because it has now acquired the rank of a fifth largest industry in the world, in India. And it is called sunrise industry. Industry on which sun is rising. Potential to grow at a very fast pace. Every industry has some backward linkage and forward linkage effect. Backward means source from where it comes. Forward means industry which is gaining. Textile. Base is cotton. Cotton is agriculture. Industry is huge diversification in terms of clothing and apparels and so on. Steel industry. So backward and forward linkage effect means the backward is where the source is, forward is the industry itself. And that industry is also generating employment, agriculture is also gaining. So foreign direct investment, the fact that perhaps you know that in India till date we do not have what is called cold chain technology. Cold chain technology means that right from the farm to the consumer, keeping goods, keeping the shelf life of products, right, for a long time, you need cold chain technology and not stand-alone refrigeration facilities. Right? Foreign companies have that. So try and understand, in many of the sectors, you cannot deny that foreign technology, I would even go to the extent of saying that the moment you say they bring business acumen, did we know how to manage malls in India? This format of malls, that you have shopping, you have food courts, you have theaters, where from we have learned? From abroad. So you cannot deny, to be learning is not bad. To be imitating is bad. Everybody wants to learn, right? So there are a huge number of benefits that foreign companies bring to a recipient country. And the last one that you have written, above all, they infuse a spirit of competition among the domestic industry to be cost conscious, quality conscious. I ask you a very, very simple question and answer that honestly. How many of you, till about 5 years ago, say, 5 is just the number, knew that even water bottles, mineral bottles, whatever, have expiry? A. My second question is, till about a few years ago, most of us knew only of human expiry. Yes or no? Not products expiry. Now it is mandatory for every product that you have FSSAI, Food Security Standard Authority of India, which is the nodal regulating authority, right? Expiry is given. We were not conscious. Of course, I'm not talking about myself, but most of us were not conscious. Yes or no? Is it not a part of globalization? Then when we talk about, till 1991, where we had not opened our economy, there was joke about Indian industrialists. The joke was that even if an Indian industrialist manufactures dust, we'll still eat it because we had no choice. Yes or no? As we started opening the economy, your Indian industry came face to face with foreign competition. It had to compete, otherwise it was out of the market. The best example is Dr. Reddy. If you look at the Dr. Reddy's spent on R&D, research and development, pre-95, when there was no WTO, right? It is minuscule. After 95, when TRIPS came, trade-related intellectual property rights, one of the basic agreements under WTO, if you look at the R&D spent of Dr. Reddy, it is massive. Because it could not have survived. Because you cannot copy. Trade-related intellectual property rights means intellectual property now belongs to them. You have to spend on R&D. Hats off to thousands and thousands of medicines that you are using every day. Do you realize that for every small little ailment, you have a medicine? Given by whom? Foreign countries. Technology. So try and understand, FDI is very, very important. Very important. I mean, it brings such a large number of benefits to the recipient country that there is no way, there is no choice. They bring you the best of business acumen, how to run a business. You go to Zara. Which Indian store would have that kind of a thing prior to the time when Zara came or H&M came? We have been seeing them for a long time abroad. This is the way to run a business. Do you understand? That is the business model even Indians are adopting. Because when we take up FDI and multi-brand retail, I'll tell you about Zara, H&M, Reebok, Nike, so on. That comes then, okay? So, these are the merits. Let's take a look at what are the demerits. Demerits are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's like saying, every coin has two sides. So you have demerits also. So, number 1. FDI can threaten a country's economic and political sovereignty. Two, I'll discuss after I have given all these. 2, foreign companies may often indulge in cutthroat competition, gala kaat pratiyogita, may often indulge in cutthroat competition to outsmart their competitors. 3, foreign companies may bring into a country technology which may already be outdated in their parent country. 4, foreign companies may take out of a country foreign exchange in the form of technical fees, royalty, dividends, and profits. Full stop. Same point. Same point. Full stop. What they take out, may be more than what they may have brought in. What they may have brought in. Next, foreign companies may invest more in sectors which give them quick returns rather than in sectors having long gestation periods. Next, foreign companies may concentrate their investments in big and metro towns, resulting in greater regional disparities. And last criticism, foreign companies worldwide are known to adopt transfer pricing practices. So we will discuss each one of them, giving you practical things that may have happened in India. So number one, which is the first one? Who can explain this? Sorry? Sorry?
As Britishers came.
As?
The Britishers came to India, sir, they came to invest in India and like set up their spices manufacturing unit over here to extend the things to like their colonial territory. So like sooner or later they started capturing the entire.
My dear, I thought you were right on track. East India Company. East India Company came to trade in India. It enslaved India for 200 years. Yes or no? You know Peru government? Peru government was almost overthrown by multinationals in late 70s. How? I'll tell you. Never allow multinational companies to swamp your economy. I mean, always keep track in terms of your guidelines, in terms of don't allow foreign companies to capture key sectors of the economy. Because the moment they have stranglehold on key sectors, they are so powerful financially, so powerful that once they start capturing key sectors, they would have the power to, determine economic and political policies, and they have the power to overthrow running governments. They are very smart. I ask you a question. Is it easy to do what Amazon is doing in India? You have ONDC. You know ONDC? You have seen what problems it is facing. All kinds of corruption. So many articles are coming on ONDC. ONDC is a domestic platform to, yes. Even Amazon has registered with ONDC. Right? So, long back there used to be a question in prelims. The question used to be, who is the architect of Indian planning? Multiple choice question. Choices used to be given: V.K.R. Rao, C.D. Deshmukh, P.C. Mahalanobis, Jawaharlal Nehru. So what is the answer? Jawaharlal Nehru. Architect of Indian planning is because he adopted Soviet model. Indian planning is Jawaharlal Nehru. First 5-year plan document. There is a quote by Nehru. The quote says, "We will not look down upon foreign investment. We will attract and invite it wherever it is necessary for us." Now I ask you a question. Why did he have to say, we will not look down upon foreign investment? Because we had the background of East India Company. If you read first 25 years of foreign investment in India, because that time foreign investment was only FDI. FPI came in 93, post-economic reforms. First 25 years of foreign direct investment in India, you have severe criticism given in practically every Indian economy book. Because it came, most of FDI came in very, very, very trivial products. Chocolates, chewing gums, detergents, boot polish. It never came in high technology area. So, my dear, never allow, do you know assets of Citibank? Assets of Citibank are more than combined assets of all the public sector banks in India. Can you believe? They are very powerful. Financially, they are very, imagine they are operating in different parts of the world. That's why they are called multinationals. And they may take years to decide whether they have to go and invest in a country. They would have thoroughly done their homework. Thoroughly. In fact, it's often said about a foreigner that if you meet a foreigner and interact with him for 2 hours, back home, he will know more about you than you know about yourself. When you talk to him on phone and say something, no, but you said this, he catches you. They are very perfect, generally. So try and understand, do not allow foreign companies to swamp your economy. Your guidelines, do you know America? We have to learn a lot from America. In most of the foreign direct investment proposals, national security clause is inherent. So, it's not, to be attracting foreign investment is wonderful, but to be ensuring that they do not capture your key sectors, right, is equally important. So that is the first point, that they can always threaten a country's economic and political sovereignty. All right? Yes. My dear, I ask you a very simple question. Very simple question. Is China a socialist economy or a mixed economy? Do you know the premier of China, Li? People are scared of him. If you go to China, Shanghai beats any European city. Look at the infrastructure they have. Every 1.5 kilometers you have a Starbucks. And their Starbucks is not small. My goodness. 5-storied, 6-storied. And, no, I have not finished. I am answering your question. For all purposes, China is relatively closed than India in terms of leadership, correct? China attracts 10 times more FDI than you do. 10 times more. Have I answered your question? Enjoy. All right. What's the second point? Cutthroat competition, gala kaat pratyogita. Shall I give you an example of India? Very wonderful example. Very wonderful example. You know, as I think I just some time back also I said in the class that till 70s, detergents which were ruling Indian household housewives were Surf and Lux. They were ruling, correct? And gradually, washing powder Nirma started making inroads into the Indian detergent industry. Listen to it carefully. Surf tried to sabotage Nirma by putting spurious powder in several of its packets. It came to the notice of Nirma, which lodged a complaint with the MRTP, Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Commission. Professor Vibash has done industry with you. No, he'll tell you what is MRTP. 1969 MRTP Act, right? MRTP Commission went into investigation and found that this was done by Surf. It imposed strictures on Surf and asked it to stop production in India. They are very smart. They can always outsmart you in terms of competition. That is why in India, like in any other country, we are talking about India because we are concerned about India, the MRTP Act 1969 was replaced by Competition Act in the year 2000. Why? You have WTO. WTO says that you have to attract foreign companies and treat them at par with domestic companies, correct? Foreign companies can expand their size, right? So, if there is MRTP Act, it will be quite contrary to the WTO, because MRTP Act said that size was the main thing. If you expand your size, you automatically come under. Here, competition, I am sure Professor Vibash will tell you all this. Competition Act says size doesn't matter so long as you allow free and fair competition. So we have the Competition Act is given even in the economics dictionary because it's an intrinsic part of the post WTO scenario. So you have to be very careful about the practices adopted by multinational companies, right? Next, what is the next one? Sorry? Yes. Do you know up to 1991, this was a rampant criticism against FDI in India, like in a large number of developing countries. We used to say that foreign companies often bring to India technology which is already obsolete in their parent country. Up to 1991, till we had opened the economy, this was a very valid criticism. You may ask me, sir, what happened after 91? We opened the economy, we had choices. If we are getting obsolete technology from Britain, we could fall back to Singapore, Taiwan, China, many other countries. China was not even known in 91. China has come into prominence in the last 15-20 years. Prior to that, it was USA capturing world markets. So, you have to be careful. This was a rampant criticism. The criticism stays. The point is, every country has to make sure that the technology that it is getting is its latest technology, rather the one which has already been outdated in the parent country of the country. All right? Next. Yeah. Yes. As I said, I'll give you practical examples. Colgate-Palmolive was the most blacklisted company with regard to criticism number 4. You know, taking out foreign exchange. Colgate-Palmolive. the Colgate toothpaste that you are using, its company is Colgate-Palmolive. It is on record that Colgate-Palmolive would take out of India 90% of the profits that it would have earned in India. You remember I told you 1997 we laid down guidelines? I asked you a simple question. You have earned profits in India. There must be a limit to the profit that you are allowed to take. Rest of them you have to plow back into India. Up to 1997 there was no such thing. Colgate-Palmolive was the most blacklisted company, which is on record that often it used to take out of the country 90% of the profits it would have earned in India. It's very important for all of us to understand that there have to be transparent guidelines whereby you ensure A, what is the percentage of technical fees of the total value that a company is charging? What is the percentage of royalty that it will charge because you are using that technology year after year? What is the percentage of profits that company has earned in India that is allowed to take out of its country? And what is the percentage of dividends that it has to give to shareholders, because this company has shareholders abroad? All right? So 4 criticisms are over. Tomorrow we'll finish the rest of them, 3 of them, because the last one, transfer pricing, I'll have to dictate. And listen, even 5, 6, I'll give you examples in India that since 91 what has happened. What kind of regional disparities have happened? A. B. I'm giving you food for thought. That which are the sectors in which nearly 50% of total FDI has come since 91. I'll leave it to you. Okay? So tomorrow we'll meet. Okay. All right.